Hello, 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 all my funky junk friends. Let me get myself flipped around here. Hello. Hi, everybody. How we doing today? It's a wonderful day, right? Wonderful day in the neighborhood. I'm going to make sure I'm where I'm supposed to be. Just real fast right here. Just to make sure on my mouse needs charged. So, of course, it's not coming up, but that's okay. It's okay. I just want to make sure that I am on my page like I said I should be. You guys, when you hop on, make sure you say hello so I can see ya. There we go. Yep, we're here. We are here. Hello, Miss Krista. And hello, Melanie. And Kendra. Hello, hello, hello. How's it going today, you guys? You guys, today is a Standing Tall crafting event hosted by our good friend there, Krista. It's going to be going on all day. Cindy was before me, so I did not have a chance to check her out. It's been a very busy morning, and I hadn't really jumped on Facebook until I just got up about half hour ago. Anyway, hi Sydney, how you doing, girl? Okay, ladies, let's just jump in. So make sure you go join the Stand Tall Crafting group. The link is up in my description. It is a free group, and there's all kinds of fun crafting things going on. There's usually an event every Tuesday and Thursday in there, or around about. So you can see all kinds of fun crafters. Krista always has lots of new people coming on and things like that. So you get to see all kinds of new stuff. So it's awesome, fun, and exciting. Okay, you guys. Today we're going to use some Decoupage Central rice papers. I absolutely love this design right here. These two Christmas trees. Don't know which Christmas tree I'm going to use. Ugh, such a tough decision, but we'll figure something out. Oh, well, I'll tell you why I just got up. Well, I worked third shift, but of course, today was the rollout of our new contract where we had to go and hello, Jim, and listen to, all the highlights for the contract and everything. That was at 8:30 this morning. We did not leave until about noon. So it kind of just made everything a little crazy today. But that's okay. The Crafty Girl Marcia is up after me also while I'm thinking about that. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I want to use this Essential Stencil stencil it is from last year. Look at these beautiful trees on here. This would be beautiful just to put on this board. You guys, I'm actually going to drop this so that you're just looking at the design. You don't have to look at my mug. But we're just going to use Oh Christmas Tree. Okay, and here was my thought. At first I thought we'll put Oh Christmas Tree at the top and we'll put one of these Christmas trees here. And then I grabbed the IOD mold here, and I thought we could use the evergreens here. There's even a small one here. I thought we might do something with that. Okay, kind of in the corners. Well, then I got to looking and I thought, well, maybe we should turn it this way and do it like that, and then split the word Oh Christmas Tree up. Now I remember why I didn't want to do that. I decided I didn't want to do it that way. I want to do it this way. So delete. I'm really liking the blues and stuff in this background right here. This kind of bluish greenish color. Okay, so here's what I think we'll do first is let's get our Christmas tree on. Okay, and then let's get a little bit of our air-dried clay in here. Just get to a couple pieces in here and let that sit for just a few minutes before I pull it out. And then we'll start painting, pull those out, put another set in, etc., etc. I think I might wait on that because I want to get it painted first. Anyway, just ignore me. All right, so I'm going to sit this stencil. I'm sitting it down here to my left, so when I go, hey, you guys, what did I do with that stencil? Y'all can remember to tell me where I put it. where I put it. Hey, Renee, how are you doing, lady? There's Renee from Flip Flop Furnishings. She's a fun lady. She did the most beautiful with the gingerbread decoupage paper from the Decoupage Central. She did the most beautiful, I'm talking beautiful, gingerbread house the other day, and it was amazing. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Now, you guys, I do have an affiliate link for Decoupage Central. The link is up in my description. It doesn't save you any money. It just gives me a little commission to help bring some other fun things to you if you just use my link when you order. Now, I'm just going to use my water pen, and I'm just going to kind of go along here because I don't want a straight edge. I want a rough edge when I put it on my board. Now, now look, I want to show you guys this. Now, see how I'm pulling it apart here? Okay, and I can still see that white on there. You can't see it a whole lot because I've got this little puppy pad thing underneath me. I could take my pencil with the eraser and pull that off, or I can just use my little finger here and kind of pull it. Now, I didn't get it very wet, so I'm just going to get it a little bit more wet right here because I like all the fibers showing and all that kind of fun stuff. Now, I'm going to tell you, we are going to paint around this. So the fact that I don't get all of the white off is okay. So if I wanted to do exactly what I just did at the bottom, just like this, right here, to get some of that off. And if it doesn't, if some of that white is still showing, it's going to be okay because we're going to add some color around the board. And see, I can pretty much tear it pretty straight when I do a straight line on there. It just kind of tears where the water is. It doesn't like go crazy. Now, I say that, but you don't want to go whoop and rip. You just kind of want to control your tearing a little bit. And it does a real good job. It's kind of like when you're tearing a napkin, only the napkin can get away from you. These rice papers are a lot thicker and a lot more forgiving than your napkins and stuff do. But I love these. It's funny because I know a lot of you guys that follow me, you've heard me say this stuff before. I get this stuff. Get these beautiful papers like this, and I don't want to use them because then I won't have them again. Well, then I don't use them, and they just sit, and then here it is. It's not Christmas anymore, and I haven't used the stinking things. I need to get over that. You know, I just, I didn't know. Thank you, Renee. Thank you. Excuse me. But I think I don't want to use it because then I won't have it. Well, I have a new philosophy on all that. I tell myself, and I'm strictly telling myself, you guys, I'm putting this right smack dab in the middle right here. That's where I'm going to put it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my paper and I'm actually going to grab a plate here. I could do it on top of my puppy pad here, but since we're doing clay and paints and stenciling and all that kind of jazz today, I'm just going to use a paper plate, and I'm going to use a double one because I can't get them to come apart. There we go. I'm going to use a paper plate, and we're just going to put the, I like to use this Liquitex. You can use whatever you want to use. You could use Mod Podge or whatever. I'm going to put it on my rice paper and then put it on there because we're going to do some painting. So I kind of want to keep the wood as what I am painting on rather than on top of this. Thank you, Miss Mary from the Painted Peach. I see Jeanette's here. We got all kinds of fun friends here today, you guys. So anyway, I broke my lid so it doesn't want to close. And then now I have this creepiness around the top. Oh, well. Well, anyway, look, I'm just going to kind of pour it on here and spread it out. Nothing fancy. Make sure my brush works real good. But anyway, I want to paint on the wood. I don't want to paint on top of my decoupage medium. Would it matter? Probably not. this is just how I'm going to do it. And that's what's nice about the rice papers compared to like a napkin or even just some of your, regular papers and stuff that you use, is this is nice and thick. And if I did this with a napkin, it would be stuck to this paper plate. All right. But this is not going to be stuck here because this stuff is nice and thick. Now, will my medium work its way through the rice paper? Of course it will, because it's paper. But for all intents and purposes on how quickly I'm doing this, I'm going to be able to just pull that up, and it's really not even stuck. The other side of this is just barely damp. So that's just what I was going to do today. All right, so we're going to lay this Christmas tree on here. I'm going to just kind of guess about in the middle. If I don't get it perfect, it's okay. We don't care about that kind of stuff. Now, rice paper, you can just kind of tap with your hands. Now, see where the white is around there? What I could have done beforehand was I could have taken some antique, your inks, your distressing inks. Okay, and I could have went around that and got it dark along there, but I didn't. So because I'm going to put paint going up to that, because I don't want you to be able to tell that this is an object or a piece of paper stuck on here. Okay, now 99% of the time you want to put white underneath where you put your rice paper so the colors really pop and go woo, just like, okay, see how this has the wood underneath it? And I can almost still see some of the grains through the wood and everything. And this board, I sanded off. It had a sign on it, and I sanded it off. But see, you can see the grain of the wood through there. I like that. Okay, but if I really, really wanted my colors to pop, if I paint white under there, see how that's a lot brighter? Okay, and normally we say to do that. I didn't do it this time. I just thought it would be kind of cool being antique. I'm using this brush right here, and I'm just going to push that down onto my board. Now, I don't want to go and cause it to rip or move, so this is just pouncing it down. That way I don't get any decoupage medium on my fingers and pull my picture back up. Okay, so easy peasy. You guys all know how to decoupage, but that's okay. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to kind of blend all this around here, and then we're going to put Oh Christmas Tree at the top. Let me grab my stencil, make sure we're still good there. So I'm going to put Oh Christmas Tree at the top, and then like I said, we're going to use a couple of these, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, around the edges. But until then, we need to get some ink or some paper. Oh, my nose itches, you guys. Need to get some paint on here. So let's get some paint on this puppy. So what I want to do is I'm looking at, it's kind of like an off-white color, kind of a creamy color right there. And I'm pretty sure I have, see, that's kind of that's like a light mocha right there. Okay, but the other color that I think is really pretty on here, here's even like an off-white, is there is a blue color on here. And I meant to pull my paints out before I started, and I forgot. So you don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. Let me just grab them. They're right here behind me. And look, we've got, that's kind of a soft, but it's a little too blue. A little too blue. I want more of a greenish blue color. Let's see what these two colors look like. We might have to do a little mixing with some colors to get the exact color that we're looking for here. Okay, that's probably a little bit better, but I still want the blue with there. And of course, dark blue has been a thing with me this year. I absolutely love the dark blues. And you guys, look, there is pink on that tree. So let's pull some pink out here. Okay, and I'm even going to pull out this funky looking green color. I mean, why not? What do we like here at Funky Junk Inspiration? The number one thing we like is color. Color. So look at all these colors. Nothing's exact, but when we get them all on here, I think it's going to look really, really cool. And if it doesn't, what will we do? We will sand it off and do something else, right? Or paint over it, whatever it is we want to do. Nothing has to be perfect. Okay, guys, I'm just going to kind of take my little plate here, and I'm just going to put some colors on here. Okay, if I use the colors, I use them. If I don't, I don't. I just want to get some fun colors on here to see what we're going to look like. Now, all my fun people that must be a blob of something in this, that are, do amazing things with colors and stuff like that. That isn't me. I just paint stuff until I like the way it looks. That is how I do things. There's nothing special or anything like that. There's always, mix this with this and you'll get this, and I mix this with this, and that's what I get. Okay. So anyway, see, we have this fun little color palette to go with this little Christmas tree right there. There's Cindy. She was before me today. So I'm just going to grab a regular paintbrush, but I need to move my cup over here and spin my brushes around here. How my thing got turned around, I don't know. All right. So we're just going to start with this big hairy paintbrush. I'm going to get it just a little bit damp. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. And we're just going to start with this color right here. Okay, I'm just going to start adding along here and just kind of fanning it out. All right. Now, a lot of people will say that I get a little crazy when I'm doing my colors and stuff. I put it on there. I want it all to mix and match, but not really mix and match. But we're just gonna go for the gusto here. Now I am going over that dark edge there. I could leave that dark edge on there. I think it looks beautiful, but I kind of just want to blend this paint all up to that piece of rice paper so that it doesn't really look like there's a piece of rice paper on here. That it looks like it's all part. Actually, so it looks like that I painted that tree. Let's just be honest. We're trying to make it so that we did this painting on here and doing it the easy way by using this piece of rice paper. And I just added a little water just to thin it out, just a tish right along in through here. Okay, so now we have this kind of beigey color going along here like that. Okay, that looks kind of plain, don't it? But just wait. Now I'm just going to kind of wipe my brush off a little bit. Now I'm going to grab some of this off-white on here. Okay, while my paint's wet, here I go. I'm just going to kind of start putting some color on here. Nothing extraordinary. I like to just play with my paints and stuff. And we're going to add all kinds of colors on here. I'm kind of fanning this out a little bit so that it kind of looks a little bit like this. It'll pull my eye to the focal point, I guess you could say. Pull myself to the center. So, and my best advice I can give to anybody messing with paints, doing any kind of craft, your craft is always going to be ugly before it gets pretty. So don't ever forget that. Okay, sometimes you're going along and you're going, what in the devil is happening here? But this isn't very pretty. Okay, so now what are we going to do? We're going to get out our chippy brushes here. All right, I'm just going to get some chippy brush. All right, now with it wet, I'm just going to start getting some of these blues and greens right here on my paintbrush here. And we're going to start. Now look, I'm just doing this right now. Now see how aqua blue that is? Just give it a minute. Give it just a minute. I'm just going to kind of go along here like this. Now see, that's just way too bright of a blue, isn't it? It's way too much of a something happening there. But we'll get it toned down, I promise. I'm just kind of mixing it all up in there. Just like that. Now I'm going to grab Okay, I'm going to go right back to this. It's like a French blue here. And we're going to start kind of pulling that together here. Okay, now see, that's still too bright of a blue, but let's get it all on here. Like this. Now, don't mix your colors so much that you end up making mud. That's why I quit brushing. I'm just kind of tapping it on here. But it's kind of, you see what I mean? So it's not turning into mud. You don't want your paper to turn into mud. Okay, now let's get dangerous. Let's get dangerous here. Let's get some dark blue. All right. And I don't need a whole lot of dark blue, but I'm just going to kind of blend that in there. And this dark blue right here is going to make that blue on this paper really probably pop. I'm hoping. That's what I'm looking for. I want that blue on there to really just pop off of here. Now you're going to say to me, you're going to say, Christy, I thought you were doing all this to make your paper look like it was blending in with the wood. Well, we're not done yet. So give me a minute here. And like I said, I get to play in with colors. So we'll just keep going here. I was going to do my molds and let them dry a little bit while we were doing this, and I forgot. Okay, so here, look at that. Got all that blue. That is crazy. I love the craziness of that. Guess what we're going back to? We're going to go back to this mocha color right here. Right here. We need a little bit more on here. Okay. Same brush. I'm just going to grab some here. And here we go. We're going to just start pulling in a little bit of that beigey, but it's kind of beigey blue, and pulling it back out to the sides over here. Okay. So it just kind of blends in together just a little bit. Okay, now by the time we put our molds and things on, this will have a totally different look to it. But see how we're just trying to get our picture to look like it kind of goes right here. You see, I could add some of this lighter color up here, but it's still got some of that blue undertone, bluish grayish color right there. Okay. Now we're going to kind of slow down here a little bit. And one of the things I'm going to do is, I'm going to look at this in the camera. I'm going to start drying this a little bit because I don't want to get to where I am just putting paint on top of paint and it's real super thick and it doesn't blend very well. Okay. So what we're going to do next after this is we are going to start pulling in some of the pinks and some of the dark browns, and then also some more of this beigey color around here to just kind of get it all to just kind of blend together a little bit. At least I'm hoping. We'll find out. We'll find out if we like it or not. If we don't like it, well, like I said, we'll do something different. Okay, I pulled out a little bit of burnt umber here. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of burnt umber in here. Alrighty. I'm just going to grab some burnt umber onto my paintbrush. My mind went blank. There for a minute. Okay, now see how that's darkening up there. Don't feel scared to go over your paper a little bit to kind of make the stuff match. You know what I mean? I went over quite a bit there, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm just keeping my dryer on here to help dry it just a little bit right along here. Okay, I think I'm going to stop because I'm starting to, not sure if I'm going to like this real well or not, but that's okay. All right, so let's pull some more browns out here. Okay, see how it just I don't know, it looks kind of crazy right now, but I think it's going to look good when we get it done. Dry that just a tish. Now I'm going to grab a new chippy brush right here, and I want that to dry a little bit more because I definitely want to get some pinks on here and stuff like that. Now remember, out in through here, when it dries, it'll dry a little bit thinner. So I'll see if I can pull some of that back. A little bit thinner so you'll be able to see some of that through there. Okay? So here we go. There's a little brush right there. A little, whatever that is. There we go. Okay, I want to get some pinks on here and some greens on here. Just playing, you guys. Just playing. All right? So let's get some pink on here because we need to have some pinks in here because there's pinks in the center, and that'll really make that pink pop that's on the Christmas tree. It's the you guys, sometimes we do things and in our head they look completely different than how they look when we get them done, but that's all right. That's how we learn, right? We just kind of just keep adding paints and get it to look the way that we want it to look. Now we have to remember a lot of this will be covered up with the Christmas tree leaves, so don't forget that. Okay, see how we got a little bit of the pink pulling up out here, and let's I'm not going to worry about the green because we will pull the green in here in a minute. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Okay, so I'm going to set this over here and we will look at this again in a second. While we wait, while that's drying a little bit, I'm going to sit that right there. And I don't have any place to set my plate, you guys. Let's move that. Let's start working on our mold right here. Now, I know for sure that I want to use, I love this mold right here. We did this amazing, let me show you guys. I still got my pajama pants on, so no judgment. No judgment. But look right here. That's what this mold is. We did that. We painted it green, and then I put some metallic silver on top. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely love that. Hey, Denise, thank you for sprinkling. And Debbie, thank you so much for sprinkling. Hello. And the Crafty Girl Marcia, that is who's up after me. So make sure you go check her out when I'm all done here. Okay, so I like to use this clay right here. You can use, I buy it from, what's it called? Amazon. Now, I had this issue with it. See how it cracked? Okay, so I talked to my Decoupage IOD mold friends, and they told me that if you leave it sit in your mold a little bit, let it dry for a little bit and take it out, it might not shrink and crack. And it depends on your paper clay. I had not tried this myself at all, but I was told that if you buy the actual paper clay from like IOD or whatever, it's less likely to crack. I don't know that. That's just what I was told. I have not bought any to do that with. I actually keep forgetting to do that. Now what I'm putting in here is I'm just putting some cornstarch in here. Putting a more than you need. I have a whole thing here because we don't use cornstarch very much in this house, and every time a recipe called for it, we bought some. And so when I went down to the pantry, we have a cabinet we have baking stuff in. I thought I need a little bowl of cornstarch. Well, when I did that, we had like 4 or 5 of those in there. So I just brought a whole one up here so that we would have it. Okay, so I'm just going to get my clay a little bit pliable, and we're just going to start putting that in here. Okay, now I am not an expert at this, you guys. I just do the best that I can. I want to get it all the way down in there and out to the edges, but I also want it to be kind of flat so that it'll lay flat on my board. That's why you want to take them out of the molds while they're wet, so that they're still, I mean, they can be a little bit dry, but you want it to be pliable so that you can get it to sit flat on your on whatever you're putting it on. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that you work it all the way to the edges, just like that, and kind of rub it down to the edge there, and see how I can see the edge right there. That's what you want. You don't want it like this. Okay. So anyway, but you have those little extra pieces that might not come off when you're doing this. You can just break them off, cut them off, sand them off if you need to when you're done. But most of the time you can, when you take it out of here, you can just kind of cut that little extra piece off of there if need be. Now this is way too much clay for in here, but we're going to just keep working it down just like that. So Janet's here. The IOD paper lay is excellent. Good. See, I haven't tried it because my sunflower, I made the sunflower and it cracked pretty good. And so I was like, help, what do I need to do? What did I do wrong? And they're like, you didn't do anything wrong. Sometimes it's the clay. You just have to, you know, it didn't bother me because I actually think it added a little bit of character, but I knew people were going to ask me why it split like that or cracked. And that was the consensus that I got from most everybody. I asked multiple people that was their clay. And it's honestly, they're on Decoupage Central. It's not any more expensive than the clay from Amazon, maybe $1 or so, but not a whole lot more expensive. So it's not like it should be a cost thing. It's just, I haven't bought any. I have this container and I have one more I'm going to use up, and then I'm going to buy one. Because if I don't use this up, what's going to happen? It's going to sit here in my craft room and take up space, and I'm never going to use it. So I need to use it before I buy new. That's my new philosophy this year, is to use up what I've got before I buy new. So, because I have so much stuff in this room, it is unbelievable. And I honest to goodness, other than like the rice papers and glue and things like that, I really haven't bought a whole lot of craft supplies this entire year because I just had so much stuff, you know, and then I start pulling my stuff out at holidays, you know, and the stuff I have left over from like last year. And I have a ton. So, you know, use what you have, you guys. We don't have to go buy every time somebody shows you something. And boy, is it tempting. I'll tell you what, you see, especially like when you watch some of the people go to Dollar Tree or do a shopping at Hobby Lobby, you're like, oh, I've got to have that. I've got to have that. But I try to refrain. Doesn't always work, but I try to refrain from buying a whole bunch of new stuff when I've got stuff here. I have stuff here. So I have had to buy a few of the different colors of paints. I have finally just about gone through my paint stash, except for I get a mystery box every month and she sends paint in it. So that's kind of replenishing a lot of my paints that I've been using up. But she sends us a whole bottle of paint, which is totally awesome. Part of our craft box there. That's Melissa from Junk and Craft Treasures that sends that to us. And it's kind of nice. But, you know, your basic things like your white paints and your black paints, especially if you stencil or do porch cleaners, you use a lot of white paints and black paints and base color paints, you know, your browns, your stains. That's why I like to use stains a lot of times on my boards, because your stains go a lot farther, you know, and it's actually a little more economical to use the stain instead of buying paint or whatever. But I don't always. I use paint too. It's whatever I'm in the mood for, right? We got to be in the mood. All right, so this is probably good enough. You see that? It's real fun, isn't it? There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to sit this over here. I'm going to let that dry for just a few minutes. I'm going to pull our picture back over here. Okay, and we're going to get it dry because I want to stencil on it real quick. I want to stencil the Oh Christmas Tree. And now that I look at it again, it's tough to refrain from buying. That is the truth, Miss Jeannie. Now see, I've got so much paint on here. It might take it a second to dry, but I need to stencil that on there before we put our pieces, our whatever that is, our mold stuff. So I'm just going to kind of hold my dryer here kind of close, and it's still going to be a little tacky, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll work with it. Now, when I put the reason I say it needs to be dry is because when I lay my stencil down over the top of it, it'll pull some of the paint off. Now, if it does that, that's okay, because we're probably going to sand this a little bit once we get done stenciling on it. Now, what would be really cool is to do this technique, the same technique, only use some salt wash. And that's exactly what I just thought of when I was sitting here. It's like, why didn't I get my salt wash out? I don't know, because I usually love using salt wash. But I did not get that out. Okay. So we're just going to that's probably good enough. I'm going to grab my stencil right here. And I'm just going to put this Oh Christmas Tree right about in the middle. It's not exactly in the middle because I didn't put my decoupage paper in the middle. So I kind of want the middle of the tree to come up about where, I don't know, about where the T is in Christmas, just like that. Okay, and now I'm going to use dark blue. Now, why am I going to use dark blue? I love dark blue. Dark blue to me is the new black for things. I like to use this. This is midnight blue. I love this color blue. This is it's kind of got a royal dark blue to it. Okay, now I put some paint on my brush. All right, now I need to work that paint up into my bristles. So I'm just going to kind of come over here, just go in a swirling motion. Okay, now that paint's up in my bristles. That paint is not on the ends. It's up high in my bristles. Now, when you put this on, you're going to think, oh my gosh, it didn't, I don't have enough paint on my brush, but you're going to be surprised at how much is actually getting laid down on the board. And if you don't think there's enough when you're done, you can always go back over it. But see how pretty that looks? See how pretty that looks? Okay, I'm just going to kind of go over it one more time. Just not a lot, but just a little bit. Just to really make that pop. See how pretty that is? I think that looks pretty. Okay, so now I really want to look at this and see what I need to add to it. I know we're going to put these on. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and pop these out. Now, these have all kinds of little branches. See that? All kinds of little edges. Just pull that back and just kind of loosen it up around these parts here before you just go yanking it out of there. Just go easy and careful, okay? Now I'm thinking what I want to do is here, and I think I want to do 4 of them, all right? I want to paint them before I put them on my board. So I'm going to lay them down right here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull this one out. We need to make 2 more because I think I want to use all 4 of them on this board, all 4 corners. So I'm just going to pull that out. I'm going to lay that right there. Okay, so now while we're just going to let them lay there. Now I want to make sure I do this quick enough that, let me put just a little more cornstarch on there. and do this quick enough that those don't dry so that I can make sure they're going to be flat on my board. Now, you can use whatever kind of glue really you want to use when you put it on your board. I do like to use wood glue. I can kind of spread it a little bit. It doesn't dry real fast, and I think it works really good for that. Okay, but look at all the details that is in this mold, you guys. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you've got all those little branches, and you can see like the there's like little berries on there and all that kind of, it's just beautiful, just beautiful. Okay, so here we go again, doing our mold. I could have done this before we went live, but actually, I didn't even think about doing it beforehand. But I could have, and then you wouldn't have to sit here and watch me put clay in a mold and rattle. I like to just talk and talk and talk. Talk and talk and talk, ladies. About nothing. So fun stuff. Who's ready for Thanksgiving? Let me ask you guys that. I've seen lots of fun stuff going on with the Thanksgiving theme this week. As far as events and stuff finishing up, lots of events switched over to Christmas already. They've been doing Christmas for a while. Who am I kidding? Doing Christmas for a while, but I did see a couple events today and this week that were Thanksgiving themed to get yourself all ready for Thanksgiving. We go to my mom's. So we've always gone to my mom's, even when my mom lived here. You know, her family is who we do Thanksgiving with. My dad's family kind of, they don't really get together too much anymore. And then after my dad passed away, to be honest, the only times I've seen my cousins and stuff since he has passed away is, well, I used to work by one of them. So I don't really see my dad's side of the family very much. But we do go over to my mom's for Thanksgiving. Kind of looking forward for that. We're ready, having filet mignon. Oh my goodness, Marcia. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Hi, Susan. How are you? Sandy, you're having your Thanksgiving this weekend? That's going to be fun. I like Thanksgiving. I think it's a nice time to just sit and chill, you know? Sometimes, you know, there's always going to be something going on sometimes, you know. Sometimes our families get a little crazy and act goofy and argue it's always about politics or football, you know, or something like that. I have some cousins that are vegan, and so that is always a subject that comes up a lot of times. It doesn't too much anymore. It used to come up quite a bit, you know, and you know, to be honest with you, I don't think that, you know, when people ask questions like, you know, about somebody that's vegan or vegetarian or that does something different than what we consider, you know, not really the norm, but what you do. Okay. So for example, I'm not vegan. All right. I'm not vegan, but I have questions about it, and I don't mean I'm mean, you know, but sometimes people take things when you're asking questions about stuff as being mean, but, you know, it's family. That's what you do. So, but it's always fun to get together with everybody. And my friends from high school, we're going to try to get together this weekend because one of my friends from school, her mom is turning, I think, Teresa, I think she said her mom was turning like 93 or something. She lives in Arizona. And so her mom lives here. She lives in Arizona, my friend from high school. So she's in town. So when one of our classmates comes back home, we usually try to do some sort of get together. So I think that's what we're going to do Saturdays. That's going to be fun. I'm going next door to my mom's for Cornish hens. Ooh, yum, yum, yum. You're just doing a traditional Thanksgiving. That's cool. Yeah, we'll have the turkey. We usually have ham. I usually make the mac and cheese. Now, the idea this year was my daughters said something to my mother. They said, how come when we were little, you used to do, I want to paint those first. You used to do, my girls would go over to my mom's and they would do, I'm going to just do them on this paint, on this thing. They would do, roll the noodles and all that kind of stuff. And my mom hasn't done that with the younger, my grandkids and my grandson. And so that was the idea to do that this year. But I'm going to be honest with you. My mom's got this horrible cold. So I'm not real sure. Now, see, I can't use I don't know why I thought I could use that. I'm just going to grab a paintbrush here. And you just kind of got to dabble it on there. Now, why am I doing this on this mat? Because I want to get around the edges here, but I didn't want to get it on my board around the edges like that, okay? That's why I was going to paint it, at least the edges. I might not get it completely painted on here, but I really want to get those edges right there. Now, don't push real hard because your stuff is still wet. Now, you can wait and let this dry, but I'm not patient enough for that. We're gonna go ahead and get this. I'm gonna just do along these edges right here. We're gonna pick it up and we're gonna glue it on, and then we'll put some more paint on. Maybe we might add some more to the regular edge, but just got to be very careful because it is pliable. So you'll change the structure of the way it looks if you're not careful, and just do it very easily like that. Okay. Now, I need some more green. Now, I'm not sure about this green color, as green as it is, on our wood piece. So we may have to add some more of this green color to our board over there so that it kind of all blends and matches a little bit. Not matchy-match, but just a little bit. But just from doing this and looking at it, I think I'm going to have to add some green on the body of my board right there. So, like I said, you get to doing something and you're like, oh my gosh, that looks terrible. Because right now I'm not real happy with my board. But we're going to make it better. Okay? So I'm just going to go along here like that. You know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and put the green on the whole thing. I'm just dabbing it on there while I have the mess right here. And I'm just going to dab it on here like this. Now, if I miss some spots, that's okay. We can get them later because we're probably going to might put a little bit of metallic over this when it dries a little bit. But it's not going to hurt anything if you can still see a little bit of the white through there. If anything, it'll add a little bit of texture. So we may end up putting some like silver or something like that over the top of these just to make them pop. We'll just have to see. We'll have to wait. That'll probably have to wait till it dries all the way. But how are we doing on time? Oh, we're not doing too bad on time. We needed to get moving though, because I want to get these glued onto my board. I want to add a little more green to my board. We might even grab some of the snow over there and put a little snow on the board. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll just let our project talk to us. Okay, I'm going to stop. There's a lot of white there. Okay, I'm just going to kind of stop right there and sit that over there. I'm going to pull this over here. Okay, I am going to pick this up. I'm going to lay it over here. Just like that. Okay. Now see, I'm thinking when I put this on here, it kind of, it needs to match more. Okay. So I'm going to drop that back down off of there. And I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to grab some of this green paint. Okay. And I don't want a lot. I just want a little bit of the green in here. I remember we didn't put any of the green on there. Okay, but I think that'll pull these branches in a little bit more. I'm going right over my stenciled spot, okay? So I'm just barely putting any on there. See that? Just barely. Just pouncing it on there. Just pouncing it on there. Just to get some of the green, to pull the green up through there. Okay. I still like the pink showing a little bit because of the pink on the bulbs. See? I don't know. I think that looks a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some Gorilla Glue right here. Okay. And I'm going to lay this in my hand, and I'm going to get paint on my hand, but that's okay. And then I'm going to just use an old paintbrush right here, and we're going to just put a little bit of, as long as I can get some out, or we're going to put a lot. And I'm just going to kind of spread this out all over, try to get every little edge on here, okay, so that they stick down. All right, I'm brushing out towards the edges, just like that. I'm not leaving a ton of glue on there, but I'm not being stingy with the glue either. So you can see it shiny on there, okay? So now you're going to very carefully, very, very carefully, I think I'm going to do it like this, right up here to the edge, just like that. And we're just going to, see that? Just going to kind of push that down a little bit, just like that, right there. Because I might not end up using all 4 of these. We might just use 2 of them. I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I don't know yet. But anyway, I was talking about the making of the noodles. I've been making them for the last few years. Well, I don't make the noodles. I have before, but I just go buy Amish noodles instead of spending my time making the noodles, because I think the Amish noodles are just as good. But my daughter was telling my mom, why don't you do that with the 1 grandkids? Well, they were going to do that, but I don't know. Mom's not feeling real well, so she might not want to do that, but we will see. We will see what happens here. Okay, so look what I did. I grabbed, no, I don't want that one. I want this one. Jeez. See, they're left and right. Okay. This wood glue dries slow, so we'll be okay if we decide to use that. If we decide not to, I'll just throw those 2 away, or we'll put them on a different project. Not a big deal. Okay, now look at my hands. I've got glue and paint and clay all over my hands. So I may end up having to make the chicken and noodles again, because that's a big hit on our Thanksgiving, is the chicken and noodles. So my Aunt Gail a lot of times will make chicken and dumplings. She makes real good chicken and dumplings. But we'll see what happens here. Looky there. I don't know, you guys. Should we put it on all 4 corners? Because I was thinking, this one that doesn't have paint on it, I wanted to go, how did I want to go? Now see, they would touch if I did that. So if I put, yeah, you guys, I'm just going to use the 2 of them. All right. So I'm not going to waste these. I'm going to lay them right here, and we'll do something with them. Okay. But I'm kind of liking it just like that, because let me show you. I didn't even show you. I was doing it off camera. If I put this one on here, see, they're kind of overlapping, which still looks pretty cool, actually. See that? I think I like that too. Let's just do it. Let's just make it overlap since we already made them. And let's just put them on here. I mean, what's it gonna hurt, right? Okay, so I'm just kind of, and see my E is in there. I'm just going to lay them on top of each other right here. I'm not going to try to cut it and match them up. It doesn't bother me like that. Okay, see, I think that does look pretty cool. Now my E on my tree. I kind of wish it wasn't underneath there, but underneath that part right there, because it looks like I was off a little bit on my stencil. I was a little over this way too far. But that's okay. That is okay. Somebody says, hey, your E is too far to the right. They don't need to be in your life, right? Poop on them. Poop on them for nitpicking your project apart, right? Okay. So we're going to just slide that right on there like that. Okay, now see, this is starting to come together. It's starting to look really, really cool, I think. We'll have to let those dry right there. Okay, now, what I'm thinking I might do is we will go over that when that dries with some metallics, I'm thinking. Okay, but I still kind of want, I don't know if I should just leave it alone. I'm still wanting a little bit of, no, I'm going to just stop and leave it alone. Because I'm thinking I want a little more beigey coming around here, but I don't know. But we could also put a little bit of snow down through here if we wanted to. We could even take our little snow pencil here, and we could, on those little snowdrops, put a little drop of, I'm kind of dried up a little. My end of my thing is you know what I'm saying. I've got a dried up ball right here. Okay. Well, anyway, we could take our snow pencil and put little dots on our snow right there to add a little something, something. I need to clean this out. This is my fault. I left the lid off of this. So this is totally and completely my fault. I left the lid and there's a chunk of stuff in there. So I'm going to need to, I need to take this off and clean it out. So I'm just going to grab, let's do this. Let's grab a pen. Okay. Now this is, now don't leave the lid off like I did, the snow crystal pen, and you won't have this issue that I'm having. Okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and touch it just like I'm painting. And what this is going to do is it's going to add a little sparkle. And I'm just touching where those snow, like snowflakes are falling. Okay. So am I getting them right on top? No, I'm kind of off a little bit, but that's okay because it's just going to add some shiny sparkle to our project here, I think. See, just kind of put some fun, whoops, sparkle on here. Just like this right here. Oops. You guys make sure you join the group, the Stand Tall Crafting group. Now I'm going to fix that as soon as I get off of here. So I'm going to sit this right here like this. So I remember, clean that up. But see, that's going to dry and just have a little bit of sparkle right there. And like I said, I'm going to go through and I'm going to put a little bit of metallics. And I think I'm going to pick out, I don't know, should we do like a silvery color? We've got a copper. I also have, I think either silver or copper. I thought I had gold, but I don't. If we just put a little bit, I'm going to show you guys. I'm just going to grab some silver here. I'm going to put it on my hand because I'm already nasty. Okay. I'm just going to kind of rub it in. And we're just going to kind of go across here. And it's just going to pick up some of those branches right there and really make them sparkle. Now, where you can see the white that's still through here on the mold, the clay, I'm okay. That don't bother me because your trees are going to always have, you know, different things going on. But see how this just really made those things stick out. All right. Now I'm going to try something here. You guys know how I like to frame in my stuff. I'm just going to kind of do it with the silver right along here. And let's see what that looks like. I think that looks pretty cool. Okay, see how I just oh, you guys can't even see. See how I framed that in with the silver? But look at the silver on the branches right there. Because I have like 1 minute left. Make sure you go check out the Crafty Girl Marcia. And I'm sorry, Cindy. I got to going and sometimes I forget to look up. But here's our project right here. That's glue. That'll dry. I'll wipe that off and dry that a little bit better. But go make sure the Crafty Girl Marcia is next. Make sure you join the Stand Tall crafting group and all that kind of fun stuff. So you guys, it was so much fun today. Thank you, Miss Krista, for having me. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.